becoming an all-star team. It starts today at the top of the order. Tiare Jennings, the second baseman, last year's National Freshman of the Year, where she hit 27 home runs and drove in the freshman NCAA record 92 runs.
Yeah, unbelievable freshman campaign, neck and neck with Jocelyn Alo last year in home runs till the end.
Borges' first pitch in there for a strike.
She's a Gatorade California Player of the Year. Yeah, this is a veritable all-star state players of the year all peppered through this lineup. They've changed the leadoff spot all 3 games. I still think they're looking for it.
In the infield, who'll call for it? It will be Bella, the catcher. And there's one away. Nice job by Isabella Martinez, Hawaii's freshman catcher. Freshman battery for Hawaii. And Bob Coolin, of course, lets the catchers call their game.
What a thrill that is, huh? You know, pretty thrilling.
So here's Jocelyn Alo out of Hauula, Campbell High School, and the all-time leader in the history of softball when it comes to hitting a home run. She did it last night in the 6th inning right after Lori left. And the pitch down misses outside. You were here up until about that point.
I saw both games. I saw her walk in the third, you know, and I third at bat. Yeah, but I'll tell you, I've gotten to do all of her high school games, and at Campbell High School saw her 3 state championships. In fact, I was just looking through my scorebook that Jim Leahy printed for me many years ago, and I've got Jocelyn's at-bats in there, and just great memories. She had a great high school team, that Campbell team, but what a career here. It's unbelievable. I mean, that record at this level with this team, that's the record, right? You're a baseball guy. You know, there's a lot of records out there, but to have the career home run record.
Well, she's the team leader in RBIs this year with 26, and she walks a lot. I mean, she has walked 23 times this season. Has only had 45 official at-bats, hitting .511, 8 home runs, those 26 RBIs. She is slugging 1.178, which is just unbelievable, and there's ball 4.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Her senior year in high school here in Hawaii, she had, I want to say 52 walks her senior year, so she's used to not being pitched to. And kind of funny, everything in my book said home run, double, or error, because she hit the ball so hard. They should have had a duck and cover, you know, acronym for Jocelyn Alo, because anything she touches is pretty much a base hit or a double to the wall.
Here's the shortstop, Grace Lyons, with the runner board, 1 away, and strike down from Borges. We've liked what we've seen from Chloe Borges so far here in the rookie campaign. You mentioned a 3-3 record. Got hit around a little bit that opening weekend in Las Vegas, but has come back and has been pretty solid. Nothing in 1 pitch, that one a bit high.
Likes to work quickly, trusts Martinez behind the plate, and is trusted in her off-speed pitch, trying to locate it a little bit more specifically, I think, over the last couple of weeks, and that's helped.
A 1-1 pitch, foul back off the screen. And we saw Alo walk last night. Ashley Murphy said, you know what, I'm getting an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to go for it. And a lot of people were very appreciative of her pitching to Jocelyn Alo.
She was 3 for 3 at a couple walks last night. First ball she hit was to the right field wall.
And 2 pitch way outside.
So yeah, Ashley Murphy took the challenge.
If you're wondering about Alo and stealing bases, she's attempted to. It has not been successful. In fact, Oklahoma only has 12 stolen bases this year because, well, they don't need to steal bases. They just hit the ball over the fence. Pitches upstairs. This is the 19th game of the year. They have 44 home runs. Last year, of course, they broke the NCAA home run record for a season, which was held by the University of Hawaii.
Broke that at the end. They had 15 home runs in the World Series.
Yeah, pitching on the line to Nakamura, and they're going to double up Alo. So it'll be a 4-3 twin killing, and just like that, the Sooners are out. Here, Nicole May has the highest ERA on the team at 1.40. This is a team that comes in with a team ERA of exactly 1.
Well, she's unbelievable. Was it all Big 12 freshman team last season? Was 15-2 last season. Throwing behind the ace, G. Juarez. If those of you watch softball, used to wear the goggles, took them to the World Series and mowed right through it. Was a great World Series for Oklahoma, but Giselle Juarez was the ace last year. May, though, 15-2, not bad.
Not bad. Want to know the Kaupe, who had one of Hawaii's 2 hits last night. Hawaii falling 11-0 in 6 innings. was 1 for 2 in the contest.
She got hit last night on her left wrist in her first at bat. Is concerning, I think, if you're Bob Coolin, but it seemed to bounce back okay.
And the 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. Calpe sitting at 366, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, but she's been at 3 home runs for a while.
Yeah, she has.
As you get a good look at head coach Bob Coolin in his 31st season. Bob actually last night gave it away to Jocelyn Allo after that record-breaking home run in the 6th inning.
He's familiar with all these players, especially that Campbell team. Sydney Coran on that team. Yeah, that was a Chardonnay Fantastico was on that team freshman year who played here. A lot of familiarity. Dallas Millwood, of course, played against Jocelyn Allo, and Millwood was at Kwame. I mean, you know, Calpe, they all know each other. Bob, of course, Rob recruits those players for about 2 tournaments, then he realizes that they're probably going to go somewhere else. But he's always there.
Payoff pitch down to Calpe. It's down low. No, called strike 3. Calpe thought that was a ball, but not Jed Sasaki.
Wow.
Excuse me, John Park, the home plate umpire, and that's a strikeout.
The screwball, the inside part of the plate. That's a great pitch from Nicole May. So now you know where your strike zone is. It's knees to armpits is Sasaki. And that's also the type of ball, is it when you don't have a lot of velocity, it tends to die off.
Martinez is that one on the line into center field. Basket catch by Coleman, 2 down.
I've been impressed with Martinez. Kind of holding down that 2 spot, makes good contacts, gives you a lefty in that top part of the lineup.
Maya Nakamura, Hawaii's team leader by average at 385. Does have 3 doubles and 9 RBIs. Nakamura so steady at second base.
She roped a ball to the fence last night in the 1st inning.
Against down for a strike.
And Troutwine a little throws harder than probably May in general. I mean, she's brings some big gas. I'll tell you what, she's throwing hard last night, and Nakamura jumped all over the back of one, off the wall, almost got out of here.
Nakamura waits. May winds, delivers inside and low.
Yeah, we'll see if this sort of 1, 2, 3 part of the lineup stays. I would assume that Nakamura will stay at the 3. Calpe hasn't had a lot of RBI opportunities, but, you know, when you're not scoring runs, nobody really has in the lineup. A few times for Maya Nakamura, more than Calpe.
Fighting that one off is Maya Nakamura. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Hawaii has struggled offensively. You know, after the first weekend, their team batting average was about 320. And now you look at today, coming into this game, it's down to 252. And so offense has been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, they were flirting with the 280, 300 mark a little bit, something we became accustomed to for quite a few years.
Well, yeah, that was the norm. The 1-2 to Nakamura pops on the run-up, and that will make its way into stands.
Kind of the 30 home runs and the 290, 300 maybe batting averages, but you know, the pitching's gotten better too, you know, Scotty, so hard to measure, but certainly not quite the power that they'd had in past seasons.
Base pitch, high. Well, last night this place was absolutely packed. In fact, they quit letting people in. It's 1,200 max capacity, roughly.
Yeah, my husband didn't get in, so I got in through the media side. I had caught some of the earlier game, and it was packed.
There were even folks on the parking structure looking down at the softball field.
It was a storybook for Jocelyn Allo. I mean, that's you couldn't have.
Can you imagine that? I mean, breaking the
she had
career
13
home run
walks
record.
in her last 5 games. Everyone thought it would happen at the Mary Nutter, and it.
But I'm saying that, what a, you know, just a storybook career at Oklahoma to become the all-time home run leader, and you do it against your home state team at their ballpark.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't write a better script. Nakamura having a good at-bat against May right here, fighting off some tough pitches. No score, bottom of the 1st inning.
You know, she has a really good compact swing for high velocity pitching, right? You know, everything's nice and tight. She's short-strided, really strong in her hands, great hands. She and Calpe both can make late decisions.
Payoff pitch, inside ball 4, good at bat by Nakamura, who becomes the first base runner of the afternoon for Hawaii.
Those are 3 pretty good at bats, right? First 3 pretty good at bat. Calpe ends up striking out, but close pitch could have been a ball 4 at the leadoff spot. Martinez lined that ball to center field to Coleman, and Nakamura takes it.
Here's Dallas Millwood, who last night was 0 for 2 against the Sooners with 2 strikeouts. Change it from the left side. May delivers. And that one cut on and missed. Take a look at Nakamura taking her towel. And, oh, sorry, Coach Lance. Hey, let me reset your visor there. Kaulana Gould over at first base. Good swing on that one. Just missed it and fouled it back. Should be a fun afternoon of softball right here. Hawaii, Oklahoma, followed by Hawaii and California. Later on tonight, we'll have men's volleyball, Hawaii and Lewis. There's baseball next door starting at 1 o'clock, a doubleheader against Rutgers. Nothing in two. Pitch swung on and missed. Or did she get a piece of it? She did. She fouled it off.
A little excitement off the rock as well. The Rainbow Wahine playing for the Big West Championship.
Yep, 3 o'clock Hawaii time.
Against UC Irvine.
Beach volleyball team is concluding their weekend over at Queens Beach in Waikiki. Nothing into the Millwood. And she swings and misses strike 3. And so May picks up her second strikeout. And after one, we're scoreless.
2012 National Fast Pitch Hall of Fame inductee. They've won 5 national championships. Last one, of course, coming last season. And what she's done with the program, you know, so fun to watch. It's kind of like watching, you know, the Warriors when they sort of change the offense.
That one is drilled out to center, and Elam leaves the yard for the second time against Hawaii. Did it last night.
Unbelievable. You know, and they had 13 walks last night. You see Lindsay Elam. She is the team captain, by the way. Getting back to Gasso, has lots of really great things to say about Elam. Watch this pitch from Borges. Rise ball that's in the zone. They've walked 13 times. They're so disciplined in what they swing at. That one a little up in the zone, and she makes Borges pay.
Third home run of the year for Lindsay Elam, who hit her second in last night's win against Hawaii. And the Sooners on the board first here with a run in the second inning. And Jada Coleman, the center fielder. Coleman got the start in center field last night, walked 3 times, and she lays down the bunt. It's a good one, and there's no way they'll get her. It's an infield bunt single.
So that's what Coleman brings to him. They squeezed her in from third base in a first and third situation last night against the Wahine. Coleman, super athletic, speedy, brings a lot more speed to that lineup.
So now the left fielder, Jordy Ball. She is really good.
Yeah,
she was the #1 recruit in the country a year ago. She was the 2020-21 Gatorade National Player of the Year.
In Nebraska, which is interesting, and she is all the talk right now. Throws probably consistently around 70 miles an hour, which is about 5 to 7 miles. It'd be like in baseball when you throw 95. Difference between 90 and 90. I mean, 80 used to be 85 and 90. Now 90 and 95 is...
Gets that one to second, short hop. They go to second for the force and throw, air-mailed. And that's going to allow the runner to go down to second. So it'll be 4-6 force out at second base of Coleman. Fielder's choice, and then an E6 allowing Ball to go down to second.
Don't see that too much. Going to watch the nice, quick turn, the transfer, and Kaupe just lost it right off the get-go. Ball sailing into the dugout. Dugout's covered on the other side, Scotty. It's, you know, they have that fence covering, but on the Wahine side, the home side now, which is first base since they built that clubhouse, it's wide open in there.
Alyssa Brito, the batter. She takes a strike. Brito, the third baseman. Was 0 for 1 with a run scored last night. She walked 4 times. Hits that one off the hands of land, just foul down the right field side. In fact, Hawaii pitchers walked 14 Oklahoma Sooners in that game. 13 of those came from Ashley Murphy in 5 innings. So they had a ton of base runners. They left 16 runners on base in a 6-inning game that they won 11-0.
Yeah, she got out of 3 bases loaded jams, did Ashley Murphy last night.
And you see the numbers on the year for Brito.
And zone is kind of tight. That's tough to, you're hoping for a little bigger zone against this team. I mean, it was consistent, but it was definitely, you know, you had to come on the white part of the plate a little bit last night.
Well, you look at Oklahoma, it's a program that's at just a different level than most teams.
Well, they've changed the game offensively. It was so much about pitching, and it obviously still is, but
0-2 pitch hit in the hole. The throw by Calpe. Does it get there in time? It does. What a nice job by Calpe. As Monteval, who's playing over at third, dove. Calpe behind her was able to field it and get it over to Brito.
we see the quickness there. So Coleman does a nice job because of the diving effort over there by Princess at third base. That was the only play she had. Coleman took the bag at third. Calpe, there you see the gun, like the ability, just the feel, right? So fun to watch.
The batter now is Sophie Nugent, the catcher, getting the first start of the season. Nugent is 0 for 2 at the plate this year. And the pitch is hit well. Out to center, and that one is gone.
Wow, Nugent getting her first start, her 8th appearance. Starting this one off with a bang.
2-run shot, 3-0 Sooners.
Looked like it may have been a little bit off speed. She sat on it, Scott, and took it out of center field. It's interesting as you watch the hitters for Oklahoma, most of them back in the box. Their back foot pretty deep in the box.
Boone bunts it off the mound. Borges, no play. And just like the last home run, they came out with a bunt. This time, Boone does the same thing, and she's safe at first, hit number 4 of the inning.
I think you got to read that a little bit more if you're the corners for the Rainbow Wahine. She's super fast, but at the bottom of that lineup, you figure you've already seen one bunt single tonight. They're going to do it again till you defend it.
That's true.
Lots of wheels down at the bottom with Riley Boone.
Top of the order now, Tiara Jennings. Jennings popped down. She hits one over the short fielded by Calpe over the first in time.
Yes.
Here's Chloe Borges, the pitcher, her first at-bat of the game. And she looks at a pitch up high. She'll be followed by Michaela Gandia-Mack and then Brittany Rossi. Nicole May walked the batter back in the first inning, struck out a pair. And the 1-0 pitch down to Borges. Slapped on the left side, the shortstop of the Lions low for the first. And a nice scoop over there by Elam, one down.
Was a nice scoop, kind of a hard overhand throw. Had to back up. Good hands there at the shortstop position by Lyons. Kind of came up on her, and you're going to see over the top, gets that short hop. Not an easy, not even a short hop. That's a kind of a tough, that has teeth. Good play over there by Elam's.
And Gandia-Mack gets hit by the very first pitch down from Nicole May. And she becomes the second base runner of the game for Hawaii. That one just got away from May.
Gandia-Mack back into the lineup after a little bit of an injury. She had started before this tournament, and one of the good lefty contact hitters for Coolin.
Rossi dropped down to the 7th spot for this game. Brittany Rossi to center field, first pitch swinging, comes up empty. Rossi last night 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. She's been in that 6 hole for a good portion of the year.
Spent most of her career in the leadoff.
Yeah, most of her career definitely at the leadoff, but she has struggled this year at the plate. She's only hitting $179, bunts that one foul.
Saw her get on a bunt single against Baylor. She's got the wheels to do that. But yeah, she has been struggling a little bit. Hit the ball a little bit better in this tournament. Dropped down, I think because they've got the lefty at the 6th spot and Gandia-Mack back.
2 pitch, nice job by the catcher, Nugent.
And Gandia-Mack against these teams has sort of historically done pretty well. She's got a compact swing. She makes contact, so I think that was part of the Coolin philosophy.
That had been a show-me pitch right there by May. Lines and delivers, outside and low, good eye by Rossi.
You know, Oklahoma playing the first part of this doubleheader today. Played Baylor just once because that's a Big 12 conference foe, but they're off to have a good time in Hawaii for about a day and a half. They leave tomorrow night. They're going to a luau tonight.
2-2 pitch, swing on a miss, strike 3, and so Rossi becomes strikeout victim number 3 of May, 2 down. Yeah, I mean, you make such a long trek from Oklahoma to Hawaii. It would be a shame if they just went home after today's game.
Yeah. the key is finishing this one up nicely, right? If you're Gasso, Coach Gasso, you wanna stay sharp. Moving into next week, I believe they go to Oklahoma City to play in the World Series venue for a tournament, and then I think they open with Baylor. So they're moving, of course, to the SEC, which is going to be really fun softball to watch. Florida, they've had such battles there. Alabama, Oklahoma, that conference will be.
Princess Mataval, the batter. Nothing in one, make it nothing in two. Princess getting the start at third base. 1 for 7 on the year. This is only her 5th appearance, her 3rd start.
We've seen a little battle over there, Scott, to see who can hold down that third base spot, as Casey Bolak, the freshman, was there and didn't have the chance to appear in this tournament. Had some personal things to take care of. So she may be back in that spot, but they've had Sabrin play there, Rachel Sabrin, now Princess Mataval getting a shot.
A 1-2 pitch as May gets the sign off her wristband. Glendon Mack at first. And Princess takes the ball inside.
May does rely on speeds maybe a little bit more than some of the staff, and lots of movement in her screwball and her curveball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. The pitch hit in the air out towards center field, playable, shading the sun with her glove is Coleman, and that's it for Hawaii here in the second. After 2, 3-0 OU. As the all-time greats in that category, but none of them come even close to what Alo has done at the collegiate level throughout her career at Oklahoma.
It's unbelievable. This season, you look at her numbers this year, she's got 45 at-bats. She's got the 8 home runs and the 7 strikeouts. Had 16 strikeouts and all of last season and 187 at-bats. So it's unbelievable. And again, it's because of her upper body strength, the ability to make late decisions on pitches.
Alo is leading things off, rips that one to Nakamura, diving save, and she can't get the ball over to first base. Nice stop, keeping the ball in the infield by Nakamura, extending to her left, and then try to sidearm it from the dirt. And we have a number of changes. You see Maialia Bethea now over at first base for Hawaii. Out in left field, we have a change as well. We'll see Sarah Bartolotti there for Kaylee Inouye.
Actually, for Gandia Mack, I think she's out there. No, you're right.
And we have a change at third base, Anna Kali Inouye. So Kali Inouye goes from left field to third base.
Yeah, I didn't think she would be out of the lineup. She's been one of the more consistent contact hitters down at that 9 spot.
So even when Alo keeps the ball not only in the field but in the infield, she's able to get a base hit. So leadoff single by Alo. 2-0 the count here to Lions. Lions lined into an inning-ending double play back in the first inning.
She led off 2 of these 3 tournament games for the Sooners. I think they're really trying to solidify a leadoff. Alo will probably stay at the 2 spot as she has for a couple seasons now.
Back to ball 4.
Back to Nakamura, heck of an effort at second base. Tried to get it there, that thumb down throw. But Alo moves pretty good around the bases. She doesn't have to because she gets to run all 4 a lot. she can just trot around. But she has really great feet. Played a lot of outfield early in her career here. That's the other thing we don't talk about much. Being a career home run leader as a DP, it's just a different mentality.
Lindsay Elam, the batter, the first baseman, she homered to lead off things in the second inning. The first of 2 home runs in that second inning where Oklahoma got all 3 of the runs.
And Elam also plays behind the plate. She's caught a fair amount of games in her career.
Are you a bit surprised by Bob Cooley making some changes?
Yeah, I think he's also trying to find a little bit of contact hitting in his dugout, on his bench somewhere. But I think he's trying to give people opportunity. He's always been good about that, especially in games like this where they're Power 5 teams coming in. We've seen Bethea in right field a few games this season. She's very capable at first base, played first base.
Is that a 1-0 pitch? And there's a strike down.
So Borges working the down part of the plate a little bit more. Got some deep balls hit on the stuff that was up, a hanging changeup and a rise ball.
That pitch hit up in the air, playable out in left field for Bartolotti, who just came in. She makes the catch for the first out. Always seems to work out that way, right? You come into a ball game and not too long after that,
Yes,
somebody hits the ball to you. I mean, it's just, I think it's Murphy's Law. So one down for Jada Coleman, the center fielder. Coleman had a bunt signal last inning. 3-0 Oklahoma. Top of the third inning. To me, a victory almost in a sense for Hawaii would be not to get run ruled. I mean, you just look at the numbers Oklahoma has put up this year. They have run ruled 16 of their 19 opponents. The 3 that have not been run ruled, Loyola Marymount, UCLA, and Utah. And you and Coach Gasso had a great conversation talking about that Utah matchup because there's a little familiarity between the two coaching staffs.
Yeah, both her sons involved in coaching softball. DJ, the older one, coached with her for a while as an assistant and then took an associate head coaching job, I believe, at Utah. So that 2-1 game was kind of funny. She basically said Patty said she was going to turn in her resignation if she lost that. And he said, I'm going to apply for it if you do.
Ground ball, just foul at first. Yeah, he said if we won that game, he said, Mom, I would turn in my resignation and apply for your job.
That's right.
You know, she's such a down-to-earth person. We talked to her for quite a bit a couple of days ago via Zoom, and no ego or anything. I mean, could easily just kind of big-time us Hawaii guys out here, but not at all.
Yeah, interesting to listen to her.
1-2 pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3, and that's the first strikeout of the game for Borges, 2 away.
Really good pitch there by Chloe Borges against the lefty, up and away, just down the river, as they say, in that outside part between the batter's box line and the side of that plate. She just painted that pitch.
So here's Jordy Ball. We had a ball against the fence right there, but
interesting, though, Gasso still really filling in a lot of her roster with players from California, a lot of contacts there, bat busters. That's how she found Jocelyn Allo. A lot of California players still on the roster, but they're starting to be peppered in with players from Texas and Oklahoma. We talked about Ball here from Nebraska.
Bouncing ball out to short. Over to second for the force out, and a good job by Chloe Borges. Nicole May, through the first 2 innings, has struck out 3. She's walked 1. That one hit out towards center field. Easy play for Coleman, 1 down.
Kali'i Noi, what about that versatility? We saw her catch a lot of the games last season. She's played left field this season. She's played right field. They moved her into third right there. She's holding down the 4th and 9th spot. St. Francis graduate with her 808 product, and I have a feeling she's going to have a little bit of influence in just sort of how this season goes because she's so versatile. They may need another at-bat out of her in the lineup at some point. Bob likes her at 9, but he's not getting a lot of production other places, so it'll be interesting to watch where she ends up.
Levi Kaupe fouls the first pitch. The shortstop for Hawaii has struck out. Yeah, I want you to get into the conference play, which is right around the corner.
I know, soon.
I want to come back her up the middle. The shortstop behind the bag gets it over to first. What a play by Lyons.
So 6th spot, getting me out on another 6th spot. Shortstop Lyons throwing out shortstop Kaupe. She runs pretty good down the line. Lyons fielding that ball behind second base, makes a nice play.
That was a Levi Kaupe play.
Yeah, it was.
We've seen Levi do things like that. So quickly 2 down here in the 3rd. It'll be up to Bella Martinez, the catcher. Flied out to center field in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss. Martinez has done a nice job behind the plate. You don't see very often freshman batteries and the catcher calls the game, but that's the case here. Making 1 pitch, spoiled back.
I guarantee the amount of knowledge she gains from this week is going to be great for her moving forward, right? To be able to call your own game against these teams and all different types of hitters and figuring out what your pitchers can do in those situations. It's invaluable for her.
And you're not going to play a better team all year. 0-2. Waste pitch. You look at the competition this weekend, Hawaii was right there with Baylor a couple of nights ago. And they were right there with California the first meeting on Thursday until the 6th inning.
Yep.
Got a chance with the Golden Bears again later today. The 1-2 pitch hit in the air out towards left, hooking foul, and out of the play. So you think this weekend is a good setup for them going into conference play?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they play Santa Barbara, I think, right off the top on a away series. You know, I think Coolin is as excited about this team as we've seen in a while, especially in the circle. And, you know, he loses Jed Ananan, a player he thought was coming back to pitch. He ended up transferring, and he's got a couple good freshmen, and I think Murphy will come into play, the third pitcher in the rotation at some point. You got to have 3. And, yeah. Even his infield's a little more solidified.
Well, the defense has been pretty good this year. Yeah. I agree. They have committed 1 error in this game. There's a comebacker to the pitcher, May. Tosses it over to first, and a 1-2-3 third inning for the University of Hawaii. After 3.
Starting to develop a pretty good connection.
Bottom third of the order for the Sooners here in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Brito, followed by Nugent, and then Boone. One ball, no strikes. That one a bit high.
Brito started her career at Oregon, transferred to the Sooners.
Yeah, we had an interesting discussion with Patty Gasso about the transfer portal, didn't we?
Yeah, and you know, for her, it's kind of the opposite. When you run a program like this, and let's say you have a miss, you have a kid that comes in and you know won't play, the portal, you know, I think makes her sometimes feel okay about having them have an opportunity to go somewhere else when she knows. That was something that we haven't really talked about with too many coaches. It's more about who you're losing, right? Well, you don't lose too many players at Oklahoma, not ones that are playing, right? So that was kind of an interesting part of that conversation.
Brito draws the leadoff walk to start things here in the 4th. And it brings up Sophia Nugent, who last time came to the plate and hit one well out to center field. Let's go back a couple of innings to the at-bat, and Nugent getting her first start of the season, didn't waste any time. That one almost made it over the netting into the tennis courts.
Yeah, that was a bomb. Nugent out of Seal Beach. That's right around where Gasso's from, in Long Beach area.
Yeah, but getting back to that transfer portal thing, I mean, she did say, you know, when some players come to me and say, I want to move on, she says, I'm pretty honest with them. If I don't feel like they're going to get a lot of playing time, why hang on to them? I encourage them, and I try to help them find a place that maybe it fits for them.
Yeah, she's got a couple big transfers here this year. Jana Johns has been here for a while, but she came from South Carolina a couple years there. And then, of course, Hope Troutwine transferring in as a grad transfer. And, you know, she's had an incredible career through last night, had the 13 strikeouts, just throws a ton. So she's sort of equalized that, given them some more depth in that staff.
1 ball, 1 strike to Nugent, runner at first. And that one is hit well out towards left center field. They'll stay in the yard. Coming over Bartolotti, quickly bringing it in. And there's one away. Almost every time you see a ball go off the bat of one of these Sooners, you almost think, is that going to get out of here?
I know.
Just the sound of the ball off the bat.
I can see your neck in here, Scott, kind of peering out.
Look around that beam,
Exactly.
That beam will never leave. So here's the number 9 hitter, the right fielder, Riley Boone. Boone with a bunt single in the 2nd inning. Corners coming in. There goes the runner, the throw down to second, the tag, and did they get her? No, the ball dropped by Kaupin. That'll be a stolen base for Brito.
Close, came out of there hard. You know, we talked about the changes in the infield, maybe because of these bunt situations. Coolin wanted a little more speed at the corners, which he gets with Bethea at first, and Kali'i Noi at third. There have been 2 bunt singles in this game so far, and DC Brito off to the races.
Her first stolen base of the season. We mentioned Oklahoma doesn't steal a lot because they don't have to. Bouncing ball inside the bag at first. That will score Brito from second, and being held up to a long single, the ball tossed around in the infield, trying to decide what she's going to do is Boone. She goes back to the bag, but regardless, an RBI single to right, it's 4-0.
That ball just bounced just inside stayed fair all the way down that line. Bethea pulled in a little bit. Tough break there, kind of, for Borges.
That was a good job just holding her to a single, though.
Yeah, it was.
Candy Mack out in right field for Hawaii. Top of the order now, Tiare Jennings. Let's take a look at this one more time, Lori.
See that front foot steps in and then just turns on it just off the front of the bag, it looked like. And they got a nice mix of lefties and righties, a lot of power from the right side, but they've got some wheels in Coleman and Boone on that left side.
Got to look out for the squeeze play right here with Jennings at the plate. Jennings hitless, 0 for 2 in this one. So run across, Boone at first, Jennings waits, swings, misses, runner goes to throw down to second. Did they get her? No. Sliding in safely with a stolen base is Boone. And for Boone, that is her first stolen base of the year.
That was close. Looked like the throw was right there. This is a cover swing by Jennings, just a distraction. Calpe right there.
Good call.
Just sneaking the foot in, the tag's high.
I bet they practice that over and over and over again, right? The next pitch, Jennings way high.
The other thing you don't see a whole lot of is a cover swing anymore, taking a strike like Jennings did, just swinging through to distract. That's sort of an old school play. But I think when you swing the bat as well as they do, you know, you give that strike up.
There's ball 3. 4-0 in the fourth. The one thing I like about the style of play by Oklahoma, granted they're home run you as they have in their release, but even when they're on the base pass, they'll put pressure on you because you have to be worried about so many things as Jennings trots down to first base.
You know, that's what I've noticed is they've added a little bit more speed to the lineup. I mean, this is, you know, famous for the Lauren Chamberlain, who of course owned the home run record. Shea Knighton, who's had arguably the greatest World Series plural of any of these Oklahoma players, winning at her freshman and sophomore year. She had the big walk-off 3-run homer against Tennessee in the 17th inning. And they've lived off this power. Now you got to worry about the speed.
Yeah, well, and none better when it comes to power. Let's go back to high school. Jocelyn Arlo, that's her junior year, taking that one out. She does it again here. This is the year after.
She rockets this one away.
Arlo hits the ball into left field for a base hit. Now bring in a run, and it's 5-0 on the RBI single to left by Arlo. Jennings goes down to second. So kind of on cue, right? We're showing highlights from her in high school playing here. And as we're doing that, she deposits one into left field for an RBI single.
And it's always so special to watch, you know, the state championships played here. Bob Coulin's always been great at the University of Hawaii, always on the road when that state tournament's played here. And so a lot of familiarity by a lot of players that came from Hawaii coming in here.
That pitch hit in the air, out to center. Back goes Rossi at the track. She looks up, it's gone. Grace Lyons with the 3-run home run. Third home run of the game for the Sooners. They lead it 8-0 now.
Wow. Grace Lyons, the shortstop. Watch her just dig in on that little bit up, down the middle. They just don't make mistakes.
No.
They're not a lot of pitches down the middle that they're not keying in on. A lot of them start from the back of that box, so they have a little time to, make decisions. And that ball looked like it was a pop-up that ended up almost going over the screen in center field. Goes from Jocelyn Allo. And remember, you know, state wrestling champion. Started off a wrestler, as most of her family wrestled, won the state championship in wrestling, and then put all their marbles into softball.
We're going to have a pinch hitter. That's going to be number 5, Taylor Snow. Seen out of Chino Hills, California. So we're going to see the bench start getting emptied out a little bit. Snow batting from the left side. She's pinch hitting for Lindsay Elam. And will finish the afternoon 1 for 2 with a home run.
And Snow, the majority of the starts for her have been at first base. She has started the majority of the games at first base, I should say.
Takes a strike. Yeah, Snow came into this game as the second leading hitter on the team at 500. Second leader, not the leader. That's Jocelyn. Unbelievable. So it's been a big fourth inning for the Sooners. 5 runs have come across. 3 on the home run by Lyons.
She has a sister Tannen that plays for Auburn and Taylor that plays at UCLA, or excuse me, played at UCLA. So
Pretty good softball
good genes.
family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Chino Hills.
3 runs in the second for the Sooners and 5 so far here in the fourth. There's only 1 out. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes to the pinch hitter.
Played a couple seasons. One of the transfers played a couple seasons at Auburn. Auburn has a good softball program. Went to the championship. Was beaten by Oklahoma.
Payoff. Hit in the air, out towards left center. Going back is Bartolotti. Circling, it's gone. We do have a breeze. That may have helped it a little bit, but it gets out of here. Home run number 4 for Oklahoma. It's 9-0.
Perfect piece of hitting on the opposite side of the plate. Just lags that bat through, lifts it into left field, just over the fence. Almost looked like Bartolotti might have had a shot at it, but as you mentioned, I think it had a little bit of help from the
A little
wind.
bit, yeah, I think a little bit. Second home run of the year for Snow. And Jada Coleman, the center fielder, the batter, takes a pitch. She has an infield single and a strikeout. Mackenzie Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue started in left field in this tournament and last season. So everybody getting an at-bat here in this ball game. Later. Remember, Donahue hit 2 home runs in a World Series game, and the place just lit up because not one of the players that hit a ton, and struggling a little bit more this season, but she's a super spark plug type player. Great energy on the field. Fun to watch.
Two balls and a strike to Donahue. And there's a strike down. Well, that turned quickly, didn't it? I mean, just the power is such a great equalizer of everything. And nobody hits the ball like Oklahoma, that's for sure. There's one rolled out towards second. Nakamura better hurry your throw. She gets it there in time for the second out.
You know, it is interesting, though, you talk about an approach to hitting when you watch Oklahoma that's similar in style, right? A lot of teams, they've got their hitting coaches well before they go to college. This is an approach, and they don't make a lot of mistakes with balls down the middle. You don't see a lot of strikeouts. So it's just sort of interesting to watch what their approach is hitting-wise, where their stances are. They usually stand with that front foot a little bit back, step into the pitch.
So we're going to have another pinch hitter for Oklahoma. Taria Coleman. Taria Coleman, excuse me.
Yeah, they're excited about Coleman, freshman out of Houston. Power hitting lefty. Be patient, try to get into these lineups, you know. And you go to places like this, it's different. You're all world everywhere you come, and you gotta sit and take it all in and wait your turn a little bit.
Kind of like the UH men's volleyball team, right? Defending national champions as well.
And also, you know, the wrench of COVID in that, right? The rosters are a little bit more jammed up, but Coleman, lots of power from the left side.
She swings and misses.
Good pitch, off speed by Borges. I think for Borges, it's not so much been the vertical stuff. She's been over the plate too much against a team like this.
9 runs on 9 hits. 1-2. Cut on the miss, strike 3. So Coleman strikes out. The inning is held, but 5, or make that 6 score. And after 3.5, 9-0 Oklahoma. Step in to lead things off in the home half of the 4th inning. Nakamura walked, first pitch swinging, ground ball out to short. Lyons late over to first base, and safe will be Nakamura.
Yeah, that had teeth, looked like it came up a little bit to Lyons at shortstop. Nakamura hitting it hard, though.
There'll be an error charge to Lyons, the shortstop. First error of the afternoon for Oklahoma. And Hawaii with the leadoff runner aboard. There's first baseman Mailia Bethea. Came in defensively in the 3rd inning for Hawaii. Fouls that pitch back. We've seen Bethea quite a bit this year, the sophomore out of Las Vegas, hitting only a .182 on the year, 4 hits in 22 at-bats. Ball. Getting that sign off her wristband, obviously having some issues with it.
I'd have to bring the electronics over.
Yeah, like
Which you know
Vanderbilt's baseball team, when they were here last week, they had electronic wristbands. I'd never seen that before. Some issues with the Velcro. I'm sure Ball will figure it out. Yeah, that's next level stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Pitch cut on the mist.
Goes so hard and kind of not unusual, but the start of her windup, you see a lot of pitchers use that rotation. Think of Kaylani Ricketts, of course, one of the Oklahoma greats, winning a World Series here. Steph Ricketts' sister, kind of has that sideways turn. Jordy Ball straight down and up.
Nothing in 2, cut on the mist, strike 3, Ball's first strikeout. First out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
I think what impresses me the most about her is her delivery looks exactly the same on every pitch. It's really tough to read her. Very linear, right? She doesn't come off and step side to side. It's just tough to tell what's coming.
Haley Johnson will come to the plate for Hawaii, the freshman out of El Cajon. Pitch swinging, fouls that one back.
Yeah, I like Johnson's swing. I think she may get a few at-bats here this season. She has pretty good power on that side, good contact hitter. He's used her a few times in pinch hit situations, and may end up being a DP.
Yeah, Johnson, 6th game she's played in this year. But nothing in one. And that's almost unfair.
Started in left field, meaning that I don't think she had a ton of warm-up time. Jordy Ball warmed up before.
0 balls and 2 strikes to Johnson. Strike 3.
So she kind of has a rocker step, right? She starts low and then kind of elevates as she moves into that pitch, and it's distracting and hard to read vertically. Is she going up or is she going down? Not to mention she throws it at about 70.
Well, looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter for Hawaii.
Pinch hitting for the Green Board, number 11, Chloe
Guida.
Aguida.
Fouls that one back. Trying to see if she's had any at-bats this
First
year.
at-bat this
Yeah,
year.
I don't see it.
Great at 5'2" sophomore at a French camp. French camp is right outside of Stockton. I've been through there a million times. Kind of a side road in the valley. A lot of softball in Lodi, Stockton area. So big club teams up there, but it is a small town.
There's a lot of small towns in that area, aren't
Yeah,
there?
and a lot of good softball. Had men's fast pitch there for a long time too, so it's kind of almost like a cultural thing there.
Back-to-back strikeouts by Ball. Nothing in 2 to Aguida. Don't forget, more softball after this one. Hawaii will take on the Golden Bears of California. And that will wrap up what has been a pretty fun week of softball. We're really 4 days, but of softball here in Manoa. 1-2 offering.
And I can say it now that we're getting a little closer to the end of this tournament. We've had great weather. I said it. There's hopefully not some sort of an atmospheric
I
river
don't
coming in.
think you're going to
But
affect the weather.
no,
It still
because
looks
we
nice.
haven't,
No,
it
you're
is Manoa, and we do get a sprinkle here and there this time of year, but it has been perfect.
But we do need rain.
Yeah, we do.
It is drought time. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so after a leadoff error, back-to-back strikeouts for Ball, and it's 9-0 Oklahoma. First pitch down from Borges is a ball. Keep in mind, the run rule, 8 runs or more. If you're leading after 5, the game is over. We are in the 5th. It's 9-0 Oklahoma. So both coaches trying to get their players an opportunity. That ball hit into left field, a base hit. Time now for the Kaiser Permanente K count. 2 strikeouts so far for Chloe Borges.
Both of them on pitches way off the plate. Borges had nice breaking ball against the lefties outside part of the plate. Will become a bread and butter strikeout pitch, I think, for her in the Big West this season.
Yeah, we'll probably see Lopez in the second game. She's been more of the strikeout pitcher to this point. The lefty. Well, we've seen good things from Borges as well. Reached out, hit over to short. They go to second for 1. The relay back to first in time, double play. Galpe to Nakamura over to Bethea, 6-4-3, twin killing.
Saw lots of these last season. Watch the great hands. They love to work on the double play in practice. Good connection. And they release the ball on the front end of that double play from all different types of positions. They have great glove work between Nakamura and Calpe.
So 2 down, bases empty. Riley Boone steps in, batting from the left side. Boone is 2 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI in this one. 2 big innings for the Sooners. 3-run second, 6-run fourth inning. Go along with those 4 home runs we mentioned. Borges delivers. That ball hit down the right field line, hooking foul. They also have a new catcher for Hawaii. You see Bush behind the plate.
KB, Kaylee Bush, getting an appearance. Great student athlete in this program, and one of the more positive attitudes out there. Catches, you know, when you're a catcher, you don't play in the games, but you bullpen every day. It is, you know how brutal you're working. You know, it's, and she's been great that way, and working with these freshman pitchers coming in. Good to see Bush get a little time behind the dish.
A couple of more changes for Hawaii. They see Piper Neary, as you mentioned, Lori, out in left field. And Sarah Bottolotti moves from left over to center field. There's ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Boone. We head to the top of the order. And Tiare Jennings. Jennings officially 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Bartolotti's played all 3 fields, I think. Not too often we have to change our scorebook around like that. Didn't she start and then left? Did she go to right and went to center? No?
I don't remember her in
Not
right.
in right? Okay.
Not yet.
I thought she was in
Maybe
right for
between
Gandhi
pitches.
and Mac when, yeah, okay.
Borges' pitch. A bit low. There goes the runner. The throw down to second. A nice throw by Bush. And they get the runner.
Even the ACC, Florida State, of course, up there.
Piper Neary will lead things off for Hawaii. Here in the 5th. First pitch swinging. That ball will be fouled. Well, you have to say something about Oklahoma. You know, just about every adjective could be used, but they are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
That's what I mean.
They are really fun to watch.
Because for so many years it was so quiet scoring-wise. You know, it's definitely whenever, even when you'd sit here with Majum and Iwata, and, you know, anytime you're sitting here with it on the edge of your seat for home run, it's exciting. We saw 4 players hit home runs tonight, and one of them's name wasn't Alo.
Yeah, right.
I mean, or Jennings,
Yeah.
right? The top
Good point.
2 home run hitters on this team, numbers-wise. So,
And not just that, it's the way they carry themselves as
it's
well.
next level.
Yep. Nothing into the count to Neary. Ball winds, delivers. Bouncing ball left side. Nice play at third. And Johns gets it over to first. Wow, that was a terrific play over at third.
And it was really close. Johns, of course, about 5'10". They switched third baseman. Kind of a tough break for Piper Neary because it took all 5'10" to stretch out and grab that in the alley, and makes the throw. Neary with the contact. Nice job there.
Sarah Bottolotti will step in to get things going with one away. Chase swings and misses.
You know, Kulin talked about Bartolotti maybe being in the pitching rotation this season.
Right.
Came in here from Maui product, but played at Kapolei and pitched, you know, threw really hard in high school. Good athlete. She's been penning, so we'll see.
Nothing and one misses inside. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they were saying that she might be the hardest thrower.
Yeah, she's super athletic, really strong, threw really hard in high school. One of those players where if you made contact, half the time it was a homer just because of the rebound. You know, she really threw hard.
A 1-1 off speed. Swung through and missed.
Got to watch Troutwine last night throw for Oklahoma, and watching she and Ball very, very different. They'll complement each other pretty well moving into the Big 12 season. Troutwine, a little more size.
Two down.
Just a different windup. She doesn't have sort of that up and down bounce coming off the pitching river, but man, she throws gas.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because when we talked to Patty Gasso, we asked her, what is the strength? You have so many strengths, there's no real flaws on this team. She said they're pitching. Everybody always talks about the offense, the home runs, and things. But really, she
They're
feels
deeper.
their pitching
They're deep,
is-
yeah, because they've had, I mean, you know, Juarez last year, they had Kehlani Ricketts who carried him to a couple national championships. But in terms of depth of staff, which seems to be trending a little bit, because we asked her about matchups and changing pitchers, and they said they definitely do that. You know, in May you see a little bit more off speed than we saw with these two. So there's a lot of choices there in that bullpen. Good look at Patty Gasso.
She's not away from starting her short Hawaii vacation. Off speed, so I missed.
I thought it was interesting, you know, she recruits a lot of these players on the road club teams. She had not been to Hau'ula.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was interesting. We saw the clinic they put on out there, and sort of very touching, I think, full circle moment for Jocelyn Allo out there. Kind of got choked up and saw herself and some of the kids that were out there. And
Popped up. Third base side, behind the bag. The third baseman, John, shields her eyes, makes the catch, and that's the ball game. Hawaii goes down in order, and after 5, the run rule goes into effect, in Oklahoma down to Hawaii 9-0. We'll take a break, come back, and have more from Manoa. Well, this one's over. Nice sign of unity by both teams getting together on the pitching circle right after this one as Oklahoma beats Hawaii 9-0 in 5 innings. We'll take a break, come back, and have